Good morning. It's Saturday, April 20th. And let me tell you something. There is book banning that is going on around this country, and I am categorically against book banning. So in Iowa, in the state of Iowa, they passed a law that banned books. And the 5 biggest book publishers in the U.S. are suing Iowa over its ban law. Now why? Why in the world is Iowa doing that? Why do they think that young children can't be exposed to many different aspects of true life? Why are they interfering with the parental rights to allow their children to read as much as they can, even on subjects that you might find distasteful? It's exposing youngsters to what goes on in the real world. You can't wait till they're 12 or 13 or 14 to attempt to expose them to things that they could have been exposed to earlier in their life. Now, I'm not talking about allowing pornographic stuff and things like that to be read, but they shouldn't be banned either. And I think it's up to parental guidance to deal with what they feel is suitable for their child. Making a blanket ban is not the way to stop children from reading books. In fact, it may encourage them to do that. You know, kids are like that. Kids will go and do things just because nobody wants them to do it. Now, that's not a good thing all the time, but we must encourage our children to be free thinkers and allow them to be faced with situations that will help them grow and broaden their outlook on human society. Banning books is not the way to do that. Reading is a skill set that must be encouraged. Life in this country, life in the world is dependent upon those who can really read and understand and develop new ideas because they have been exposed through reading a book or an article or something in the newspaper. You can't afford to stop children from having the innate need to learn. And reading is a monumental task in the educational system. You can't get ahead in this world without having that skill set at your disposal. So any discouragement of reading is to be frowned upon because it's a lifelong exercise. Reading doesn't stop when you leave school. Reading doesn't stop when you go to work. Reading is a continual experience in your life, and you must encourage it. Reading is so important that it cannot be interfered with in any way, shape, or form. Yes, you may disagree with topics, and you may disagree with articles, and you may disagree with the comics and all of those things. But every one of those things that you disagree with is an avenue to learn about people who are different, to learn about things that you never encounter in your daily life. What's in books is universal, and we, as parents, as teachers, as friends, should encourage more reading, not less reading. Now, I don't know where the United States stands on the reading of its nation internationally. I don't know if we're in the top 10 or down on the bottom. But we can't afford to allow this particular skill set to get away from us by having dumb laws in states that worry about things that should be treated differently. They should be wanting the populations to understand about those who are different from us and those who think differently. Why are they worried about the exposure of those things? That is not what is going to turn a child's life upside down. Bad parental interference will turn a child's life upside down. Horrible school teachers and things like that will turn a child's life around. But you can't stop people from reading. That's a form of populism that should be dispersed with. Why? Why in the world do you want to do that? In my mind, every child should have a library card. Every child should be required to take a book out of the library once a month and finish it and return it and get another book. That's the way it should be. Maybe if we had more people reading, we would have less of the crazy, disgusting deeds that go on in this country. We lead the world in shootings, but we can't lead the world in reading literacy. That would be horrible, right? So I'm against any form of strangulation of a skill set. That's what this is, strangulation of a skill set. A critical skill set that will you need your whole life. If you expect to get anywhere in your career, reading will help you. It will not hinder you. The ability to read is critical if you want to be a well-educated person and if you want to continue to keep up with what's going on in the world. Now, right now, I know that newspapers are not the favorite thing anymore because we all have our mobile phones and we have TV and we have places like that. I bet you that most of the people who don't read well can manipulate their mobile phone way better than I can. So we have a lot of work to do in this country with creating a greater society. And I think that a major contributor to being a great society is the ability to read and to understand what you read and to read all of the issues on both sides. You can't be a one-track person anymore in this world. Everything is out there, and you must understand it. And if you can't read, you won't be able to understand it. We have computers that do AI and tell you things, but you have to check. And the only way to check is to read the opposition. Don't fall into the trap of being a one-way person. You must have a broad view of what's going on around you. And reading is critical to getting that view. So I'm against book banning, and I'm against those who are for book banning and for lowering the educational standards of our children. So have a great day. See you in the morning. Bye.